Hey, H, how are you? It's been a long time.
It's been a minute indeed. Yeah, man. Sorry about that.
That,
Listen,
that's what they call that's what they call a long minute.
well,
A,
yeah,
New- a New York a New York minute is supposed to be a long or a short minute. I forget, but they would say that was a very long New York minute.
it's just a minute, dude. Time is time is relativity, right? We can be anything. What's a
Well,
minute?
there is no time when we talk about relativity, but we won't go there tonight. There is no time in some places. It's just whether we're here for a minute, we're here for 1,000 years. It's just there's no time.
Well, it depends where we are, right? If we're, I don't know, Mars or Jupiter, I don't know. The time will be different, right? The year is different, the day is different. Folks, we're just bugging out here. So this is not the topic of the hour. This is not what we're
No, no,
going to
no, no.
talk
We got
about.
something a lot more fruitful. But I do want to share a revelation. So I've been one of the heads for security for New York Roadrunners for a long time, and so I went there because I had stopped with the COVID for 2 years. I didn't want to go anywhere near it, and then I came back this year, but an epiphany hit me, and I'm seeing all these people coming across the line. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do it. What are you gonna do? I'm a train, and I'm gonna run next year. And starting with this past Monday, I started my small run, which was only, I don't know, maybe quarter of a mile. But everywhere I run now, I run, I start with a walk, fast walk, then I fast jog, then I run, I go back and forth. I have my first marathon. I think it's a 10K or 5K the day before Thanksgiving in Florida. Then I have my first official run in New Jersey, a 10K February freeze out. And every 2 months, thanks to the American Society for Track and Field, I've got new runs coming up every month or two. And I joined a running group.
Well, you're a braver man than I am. That's all I have to say. Well, that's great. That's an achievement, it's a goal that you've, kind of put in place, and
I'm
you're,
not going to do the marathon every year. It's not good to do it every year as a runner, but I want to do it once. And I still do want to do the 5 and the 10Ks because running a marathon is not good for you every year.
well,
But
listen, I know someone who does them, in literally back to back, but that's a whole different world
but
than
that
you.
but
She's
that's not a
great.
good thing for the body. Doing it 1 year is fine, and doing a 5K or 10K is fine. I said, why do we even have a marathon that's 26 point something miles? Because that's what the Grease people did. So we're
Well, that's
following what the Joneses did. So we have to. Why didn't the Grease people just run like 10 miles? I would have been happy with 10 miles. I mean, you
well,
don't need 20.
I did go to marathon. Literally to the place where it all began, and yeah, that's how it is. It was that distance, and it
So they're
just
the
stacked
people
up.
I have to thank or not thank because, we really don't need 26.4. They even have a standard. So in order to get into the New York Marathon, it's about $265.
Well, I think they broke the record or something recently. So
What's that?
that's I don't know. The timing. I think so. The time to
Oh, well,
to
that
make it
guy,
through. Yeah, yeah.
from what was it, Kenya? He got first place and he won the 100,000.
Listen,
But they
the
just
Kenyan
run
guys.
there all the time. They don't have a car, so they just run.
Oh, hey, listen, we don't, dude. You gotta get people pissed off right now.
Well, no, but I'm just being honest. I mean, I love that they're doing that, but I can't I'm gonna do my running and I put effort into it, but I like getting in my car. But I do now run everywhere. I went to go get milk before. People are like, what's the matter? I'm like, nothing. Like, you're running. I'm like, yeah, this is a new thing I started. Are you
Well,
okay? I'm
as
fine.
long as long as you can run. There are places where you cannot run. There's just no way to actually physically run. Especially
Well,
in
I run
Jersey.
outside, I run from my car, run to the office. People think, are you okay? I'm fine. I run in the supermarket.
I can just
I
see that.
run down to get my mail. I run all around, and they're looking at me. You're right. I'm fine. Oh, okay.
Bro,
I told my dad I was going to do
you're
the marathon.
scaring people.
He says, you have rocks in your head. He says, that's crazy. I said, no, no, no. My mom said, whatever you want to do, you want to do. I said, I won't bother you. I said, just if you want to watch me come in, that's fine. So, but the
Well,
way they work at the New York Marathon, if you don't keep the time up, so the sweet van comes right around 6.5 hours. But not only that, if you don't finish in the 6.5 hours, you're out. But what they do is, if you run and let's say that you don't keep up your time consistently in 2 checkpoints, you're automatically eliminated. Very
right.
tough.
Well, I think they just did it, right? So it went well, I guess.
No, I'm saying that no, I know a lot of people that got it eliminated.
Oh, listen, I mean, I think they can use the eliminations because there's so many people, it doesn't matter to them.
Do HH to make it a little more impactful. So in order to get in the marathon, you pay money, but it's what they call a lottery system. So what they do now is if you want to run 9 races a year, like I have nothing else to do, and volunteer ones, which I do already, then you're automatically in. Otherwise, you got to raise about $5,000, which is what I think I'm going to do. I'm going to do a charity run.
Well, believe me, the person I was referring to, I mean, I mean, she was actually a guest on the show, and she does marathons for charity, and she does it for great causes and hospitals and things to generate funds. And I mean, she's awesome and a great cause, and she's doing it. I mean, she's fit for it. She does it. I mean, it's day in, day out. Um, but so before we do that, folks, just a quick announcement. We are live on Instagram. So that's why you see my head turning left and right. So I got Instagram on this side. I got our banners here. So if you want to chat with us on YouTube or Twitch this way, Instagram that way. So if I'm moving, I'm just trying to read your comments and things like that. But you can also dial the number on the screen and you can dial into the show. If you want us to send you actually to come on the show right now with us, we can do that too, as long as keep it, I guess PG-13. I don't know. What's the rating you want to have, John?
Well, I tell people on my cast, and I had them sign their life away. I'm like, there's no profanity allowed on the show. And I had somebody come very close. I had somebody come very close to it, and they almost got fined 10 grand for every violation.
Wait, 10 grand as in
$10,000, because the amount of effort and work we have to go through to remove profanity from a show is so time consuming. And sometimes, HH, we can't catch it. And reputation is so important to me that I put out content that is at the highest level for all ages. And I can't be doing that if I have people jerking around with comments. I had a very well-known celebrity, and I said to him, dude, I said, what did I tell you? He's, oh, shoot. He's like, you got to, I said, I'm going to remind you once. It happens again, like, we're done. And you just gotta stick to that, because I have a lot of people that when they come on, they're like, oh, you got to sign a media release. I'm like, gotta sign a media release. What about this nonsense about the 10 grand? I said, it's not nonsense. That's true. Oh, so I had 2 people. I had one guy who does a fire walk. He says, you know who I am? I said, no. Do you know who I am? He says, I'm not signing this. I said, okay, then I guess you're not going to be on the show.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I know him. He's a friend of mine.
you know? Okay.
I know him. We just had a show, actually. Yeah, he didn't curse. I don't think
There's a couple. No, he didn't curse, but he wouldn't do my media release.
Oh,
it might not be the same guy. There's a lot of firewalkers too, HH. It might not be the same guy.
Well, this guy is the real thing. I mean, he's from the Tony Robbins,
This guy was too, and there's about 5 or 6 of them. But when he was all gung ho to go on the show, then I was like, well, we didn't get your media release, so I'm not signing that. I said, okay, I guess then we've opened that spot up.
Yeah, I guess you need to have them lined up, those guests, huh?
I do. Thankfully, we're booked now into January. So I've been very grateful for the people coming in and people embracing the concepts. I had a guy on just last month. We talked about his addiction and how he was in the military and how he was introduced to a horse by his officer. Didn't even know they liked horses when he was younger, but he did. They didn't know he did. And now he married this lady and he started this multi-million-dollar business in California. And we talked about how horses can hear your heartbeat from 4 feet away.
That's news to me. I didn't know that.
They can. That's how they always can tell. So if you're not in a certain mood, that's how dogs are able to tell. I don't know if you know this. Dogs can hear your heart too. They can pick up your facial expressions. And that's why the dog knows if you're a good person or not.
Well, I know they sense. I think all animals have that, but I didn't know that's how
they can read your facial and they can hear your heart. So if you're nervous around a dog, the dog's going to pick that up.
Hey, folks, be careful. Let's not be nervous now. All right. Well, listen. So, John, we did the announcements. I think today's
Oh, we did? I didn't
discussion.
know we started. Okay.
Ah, well, let's do it again. By the way, we never did our thing.
Oh, that's true.
You see, so let's do it again.
So 1, 2, 3. I'm John C. Morley, and you are,
Hurricane H.
and together we make up 1, 2, double
Double impact.
impact. Okay.
Okay, good. So we got it. That
Pretty
was
good.
nice.
Pretty good.
It was delayed, but hey, folks,
We're
this is
getting
the fun.
better.
Well, just for those people that are just joining us now, this is not our typical shows. I mean, you can follow John on his own journey with a lot of shows and things that he does, and it's all tech and good stuff, and it's really
And
intense.
the motivational show, which I just finished doing before this show. I just went on the air, just got off the air about a half hour ago with the entrepreneurial journey to success and all the things that you may or may not want to know if you want to be on that journey.
There you go. And of course, you can watch all those things, but this particular show we have is kind of like just an open discussion. We don't plan it. We don't.
No, we never do.
We just kind of go with the flow, and anyone gives us an idea, we throw it in there.
We plan the time. We confirm the time. That's about all we plan, I think.
Well, even though we got it wrong today. But I blame me, man. That was me. Like, we
switched to every second. So you guys know we switched to every second Monday, but I think that's going to change next year. I'm not sure, but we're going to be back to something, right? Back to 6, back to 7, back
we'll
to something.
Back. That's all.
We'll be back. Okay.
We shall be back.
We're trying to get into a mall too one of these days. I know that was one of our visions, right? To get into a mall.
The vision's still there. We just got to deliver it. Listen,
so here's my latest creature. I don't know if you see this. So I made this. Well, I didn't make it. I actually did the designing for it. But my 3D printer actually made this in 45 minutes. What is it? It's a train.
45 minutes it took to do that?
Yeah.
God. What would it take to print a human being size? I don't know.
Well, if you, just to give an example, when I put in 5 in the printer, because I tell it to do 5 and I put them up on the table, it takes 3 hours and 40 minutes to print 5 of these.
All right. Well, John, I know we have one thing you wanted to talk about is the discussion that you and I had before. So you want to give our audiences a little bit of a preview to that, or we can just jump right into it?
Wait, John, which topic? Because we're talking about a lot of things. Which one?
the one you were planning to discuss that you were just working on.
Oh, about the run?
No, about making sure that there's positivity and
Oh yeah. So the whole thing is that we need to be positive. Whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're a serial entrepreneur, whether you're just starting out as a business owner, or whether you're just a mother, father, brother, sister, cousin, anybody, we need to be positive because our neurons, I'll call them mirror neurons, actually will start to reverberate off, and the mirror neurons actually can communicate through a very vast amount of space. So if you're picturing, I'm just going to give you a quickie here. If you're in a room, and let's just say that you're in this room and you want to approach this person, but you're not sure how to do it. So you basically need to send them love, okay, from across the room, across the universe. And when you have the interaction, it just happens. I'll give you an example. So you're in the room and you have this person that's very strong, and you can't pull this person left. You can't pull this person right. You can't do it. If you come next to the person, okay, and you hold on to the person, you still can't pull them left or right no matter what you do. But if you picture yourselves as one person for a moment, and then you picture yourself just there as one person, and you just give it a few seconds, and you picture that, you're going to start to feel a shift from the other person. Once you feel that, then you just picture all of you, just one object moving, and you'll see the person just moves with you. That's really amazing. So we have to stay positive because, see, if we don't stay positive, we're going to miss all the great things in our lives. I know we get things that happen in our lives. Maybe they're not what we want. How many of us ever gone on a roller coaster before, right? I know I have. So whether you like roller coasters or you don't, well, that's tough. But anyway, when you go on them, there's some ups and there's some downs. And so life has roller coasters, but when we have these moments like, oh my gosh, the floor just fell out, and I'm being facetious, but the floor just fell out. This just happened. A relationship just broke up. Let's not cry over the spilled milk or the spilled coffee. All right. Let's look at this as an opportunity to improve our lives. Does that make sense, everybody? If we can embrace positivity, and if we can know that the way we wanted something to go is not the way we really intended it to go, but if we can embrace that, we can say, okay, I know this happened this way. I didn't want this to happen, but what can I learn from this? And as soon as you start to do that, that negative vibe that you had, it just sort of disappears. Because our perception changed to what reality really is. And so people ask me every day, John, why should I be positive? Well, my question is, why not? And the reason you should be positive is because it's going to affect your mind, physical, mental, spiritual, your health, right? There's been many studies on that. Your energy, and most importantly, it's also going to affect your relationships. What person wants to hang around a negative person? Do you know anybody? I don't know anybody who wants to. Would you want to hang around a negative person? I don't. So when I get people that are negative, I'm not nasty. I'm like, hey, Joe, Bob, listen, I know you're having an issue with divorce. I know you have an issue with that. I get it. Listen, why don't we go do something fun? Well, John, I really don't want to right now because, you just want to sulk and think about that. I'm like, okay, well, tell you what, I'll let you to yourself so you can sulk and do whatever you want to do. And why don't you reach out to me when you're over all this, and then we can get together and have some fun. Great. So they reach out again in 2 or 3 weeks, and we get together. Oh, how are we doing? Everything's great. And then all of a sudden, they pull the same nonsense. I'm like, what happened? Oh, it was great up until 5 minutes ago. What do you mean 5 minutes ago? My ex, this happened, that happened. And then the third time rolls around saying, look, I warned you. This is the third time, I don't want to hang around with you anymore. If this is the attitude, this is the energy you're going to have. And so if you keep doing this, I'm just going to be too busy to hang with you. And some people are going to take that offensively, but I don't want you to take it offensively. I want you to take it constructively because you have a choice and a right to hang around the kind of people you want. Now, that's not being discriminating. Just like we want to drink the most healthiest water or eat the healthiest foods. That's not discriminating, is it? No, it's doing what's best for our body. So when somebody says to me, hey, you're being selfish. Yeah, I am being selfish because I know that if I hang around a negative person, guess what's going to happen? Their negative vibes are going to rub off on me. So I want to make sure I get as far away from them as I can. People can sense positive and negative energy within 5 to 10 feet. One of my projects, I haven't got it yet. It's a certain type of meter. I actually want to get one of these and measure human energy. That's one of my projects for next year, where we can actually measure the energy coming out of the body, the aura, basically. And so I feel some people, they want that crutch. Oh, well, you always lift me up. Yeah, I'll lift you. But then they don't want to be lifted up. They just want to be, someone that kind of just dampens everything. And you get these people. They're narcissists. They just want to, they just want to have a pity party. And I always say, if you want to have one, well, go have one, but just don't invite me. Because, you're here in this energy. They're here in this energy. And you're trying to bring them up. But now with you being together, you were here, they're here. Now you're kind of coming into here and it ain't working. And you're realizing, hey, I don't want to be around this person anymore. That person's A, either going to change, maybe, don't hold your breath, or B, they're going to disappear from your energy. They're going to disappear. They're not going to be around you. And I think when we come up with the understanding that energy is all around us, it's not something that's just here in this room or something just on this podcast. Energy is in our phones. Energy is in our microphones. But energy is in our bodies. And without getting too deep here with quantum physics, everything that ever is and ever will be, all is made from energy and matter. And so that means we have the power to change things in our world. So like that example I was giving you, if you just give somebody some love, and here I'll give you a really good one. If you're in a room with somebody, you're trying to build rapport to them, the best thing you can do to build rapport, what's the best thing you do to build rapport with somebody without even saying anything?
Smile.
Smile's good, but I got something even better. Show them your heart.
All right, we're gonna open up. I'm just kidding.
No. I'm explaining. So I'm doing it right now. So when I say I'm showing you my heart, it adds a smile, but it actually does something else naturally. So show your heart. It's a natural radiance that comes off of your skin, off of your body. And so a lot of times people don't do these things because they get too much in the hustle and bustle. And so when we embrace positivity, the world is a better place. Any of our challenges that we have, they seem to, they fall away. It's almost like, we have this great big shield. And when we have positive energy, it's like everything just disappears. And I was having dinner just a while ago at Precious, a Chinese restaurant. I was actually trying to go to this place called Macabre's, but I just found out they're only open on Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. I felt like having an open face. I just wanted to pull the pulled pork, but no bread, and they were closed. I was like, now what am I going to do? So I'm like, I guess I got to go for Chinese food. So I wasn't a big fan. I went there. I said, oh, this wasn't a bad deal. $9.75. Meanwhile, they went up $1. The menu says $9.75. I said, how do we get 10 cents? Oh, we went up. I said, where? She's like, oh, our prices went up. I said, but that says $9.75 on the menu. I know, but it went up. Well, how can the menu say $9.75 if you charge me $10.75? Like, I don't get that. You just have to understand our prices went up $1. But it doesn't tell me that anywhere. Anyway, so I get my dinner. I had broccoli and beef and fried rice. And on the way out, I had one fortune cookie.
Yeah, you're making me hungry, man. Probably a lot of people right now are like, oh,
you didn't eat yet. Okay, I should make sure you have dinner before we do the show because I had dinner.
It's too late anyway. So
what's that?
It's too late. I don't eat this late, so it's over.
Oh, so you already ate? Okay. So I got a fortune cookie. By the way, they're only 25 calories, but you still got to log them. 25 calories for a fortune cookie. So I was leaving Precious, and I broke the fortune cookie. Sometimes you open it, you get gypped. There's no fortune in it. I was going to go back if there was none. So I opened, there was a piece of paper. So I had one of the part of the cookie. Got my car, and I read the fortune cookie. And it said, even in the most darkness, a candle cannot be extinguished. Now, that was a very interesting, how can I say, fortune. Even in the most darkness, a candle cannot be extinguished. That's deep.
I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to visualize that. I mean, technically, yeah. I mean, here's Googling. Google eyes, baby. Google eyes. Well, so while you do that, I just want to chime in a little bit on the positivity, thing. So,
okay,
I personally, I mean, I just cannot comprehend negativity. I cannot even absorb it. I cannot understand it. I'm like the opposite of negativity in my day-to-day life, in the person, whatever it is. I think it's just a draining level of energy. It isn't literally just pulls you down.
I found it, by the way. It's a national fortune.
Oh, okay.
All the darkness, and this is the exact phrase, all the darkness in the world cannot put out a single candle. So I'm going to read this. I'm not taking credit for this. I do want to give credit to One Smart Fortune Cookie .wordpress.com, and they didn't pay us to say anything, but I just grabbed the information, so hope you won't mind us reading it. Anyway, all the darkness in the world cannot put out a single candle. And this actually, they formed this in December 9, 2018 was the first time they used this. The holiday season has begun. and the sights and sound are all around us. In fact, the common thread through many of the holidays festivals celebrated this time of year is the use of candles. The quote from, hey, listen to this, St. Francis of Assisi weighed heavy on me during this time of what is supposed to display love and joy and peace. I feel like now more than ever, we need the light of those candles in the world that seem to grow darker by the day. I was honored one night to be at my friend Ivy's house one night during Hanukkah. Hanukkah is the Jewish festival of lights and takes place over 8 nights. Each night, one candle is lit on the menorah in remembrance of the rededication of the Second Temple in Jerusalem. The menorah is placed in the front window of the house so people can see the light and remember the story. Ivy had 2 little girls and mostly an atheist husband, so she took very seriously her role in spiritual instruction of her girls. Since Judaism passes through the mother's line, the development of these tiny little Jewish women was essential to her heritage. I was worried that my presence there would be unwelcome at such a holy time, but they were happy to share moments with me, and I was glad to be part of them. Watching my friend behind her young daughter passing her hands over the candle and blessing parroted back in the sweet little voice warmed my heart as much as that flame. I cannot say that I have been blessed to experience the festival of Kwanzaa with anyone. Similar to the menorah, the 7 candles of this celebration are held on a canara. 3 red ones on the left, 3 green ones on the right, with a black candle in the center. Each night during Kwanzaa, a candle is lit. The black center candle is the first, and then it alternates between the red and green candles, stating which the ones on the outside and moving inwards. The 7 days candles in Kwanzaa represent the 7 principles of Kwanzaa, the festival created by Dr. Maluna Karina in 1966. Dr. Karina wanted to bring African Americans together and remember their Black culture. These were celebrations when people would come together and celebrate and give thanks for the good things in their lives and communities. For me, candles mean Advent and Christmas. Yeah, I agree with that. From the lights on the tree to the candles in the window, I love the lights of Christmas. One of my favorite traditions ever since I was a little girl was candlelight service on Christmas Eve. Little boys in dapper plaid jackets and little girls in crushed velvet dresses and tights sat around the pastor, glasses low, on his nose, rocking slowly in the old wooden rocking chair. Like Father Christmas himself, listening to a simple story about shepherds and angels. Not only was it a sweet night full of music and stories, but there were 2 important elements, candy canes and candles. So I think what they're trying to say is that no matter what evil or what darkness can be in the world, if we have but that one single candle, no matter how strong it is, if we focus and believe on the candle, then that darkness will never affect us.
Well, we can I mean, think about it this way, right? Right now, we have all these crazy things happening around the world, right?
Yeah.
And positive. We're talking about positivity. Positivity is a great thing to actually light up the world we live in, because it sucks right now for a lot of lack of word, if you want to call it that way. It's just
it's been a little challenging, as we say.
this is, I mean, it's back to back to back to back to back, and who knows where this is going, in this world. But if we all, each one of us, hold that. I mean, you talked about marathon. We can use a torch here, a candle torch. That's actually something to light up, the lives of people and bring some happiness and positivity around. At least it keeps you going. I mean, because here's I think that the problem is when people are not positive, it doesn't make a difference for them other than they're just not happy. They're stressed, they're depressed, they have anxiety, they have everything that comes with negativity is wrong. And it will reflect on that person's behavior, life, entourage, and everything. And eventually, as you said, the positive people will eventually vanquish and just kind of like, vanish away from that person. They're not going to be close to that person because they're not going to want that dim light business going on with them, right? They want the light to stay and that flame on and all that good stuff. So the power of positivity is really, it's actually easier, I think, to be positive than negative. I just think that way.
Well, positivity, the whole thing about smiling and frowning, it's the same kind of thing. It takes more muscles to frown than it does to smile. I see positivity as more like a river flowing, and I see negativity is more like blocks impeding
That's
our
right.
way.
That's
Because
right.
think about it, you could let positive energy flow through you all day long. Let's think about this. You could be in a positive environment all day long, right? And you'd enjoy it and love it, right? But if you had a day of negativity, of people you had to, even though you're positive and they're just negative at every little corner, every little turn, like that drains you.
Oof.
So even if you are positive and you're trying to help people, well, I don't want that. Okay, I understand, sir. I'm just trying to help you with the information. Well, you're not quick enough. I'm sorry, sir, if I'm not as quick as you would like. It's important that I, do this in a manner that's going to make sure that it's going to be good for all parties concerned. And I
Mm.
remember even my parents had their dry clean plant. My mom had it, and some people were nasty. And you go out there with like, "Hi, well, it's a great day." "No, it's not." "Okay, well, I hope you have a great day." "Well, whatever." And they get nasty. And you can't call them on the carpet for that because that's not my job. But, you can't say, "Hey, gee, why don't you be nice?" Because that's just you're just looking for an attack. So what I found when people are negative, I understand you feel that way. Let me see what I can do to help you. And go from there. You're not going to be able, unfortunately, HH, to please everyone in this world. We'd like to, but we can't please everyone in this world. So I
Agreed.
believe that if there is some negativity that exists, there's two things I can tell you for this. One is if you think about that person in your mind, okay, whether they're in the room, whether they're across the country, and you just think about sending that person love. I know this sounds like the craziest thing. The next time you're around that person, you watch how they're going to react to you. And it's not magic. It happens because of ourselves all being interconnected, and also the fact that when you're around that person, your attitude is going to subconsciously change because you
Mm.
normally had this puss or this face like, right now it's like, but you're not doing this, you're doing, you know. And I had a building tenant that was very nasty, and they would never hold the door. And I think I was holding the door for them, and they didn't say a word. Normally I would say, like a lot of times I would say, well, you're welcome. But why say you're welcome? Because your welcome doesn't really mean you're welcome. Your welcome just is a dig
Sarcasm.
to say, "Hey, why didn't you say thank you?" So why waste my breath on trying to help somebody when, you know, that person is a blip in my life. They're a blip. And the way I look at this, HH, is these people that are negative, guess what? They're eventually, if not sooner than later, going to fall out of my life. Because when you have positive energy, the negative people either change or they just sort of fall away. And I think that's a hard thing for people because they believe that they're trying to, make this person seem so much better. It's not your job. It's not your job. When I've helped and I've coached people, I say to people, look, this is a choice. If you don't want to do it, it's fine, but this is a choice. And I feel that a lot of people out there, when we talk about whether it be positive or negative, the first thing they ask themselves is, why should I do it?
Mm.
They're grumpy because they think being grumpy is going to get them further ahead, right?
Well, John. So just, I mean, it says is, it sounds like there are people that are negative. We know that, but
Yes.
there are reasons why these people are negative, and
Well, sure,
sometimes,
they've had bad experiences. I get it.
Well. But again, again, I'm looking at it from the positive lens, right?
Yes.
I still believe that these people, there's hope for them, right? And our job as the positive ones to try to kind of, it's like they're drowning, right? You're just trying to give them a little bit of a pull, to safety, right? And help them out. But at the end of the day, I mean, you're right. There's a point where if they're going to pull you down and make you drown as well, you're just going to let them go. But it's it is, at least for the people that are watching and listening, if you have that energy and you're positive, I mean, be contagious enough, try to be as much. But you're right, there will be someone who might, not open the door or say thank you, whatever. But you never know, like what, if you just say, oh, you're having a bad day, whatever, do something to assist, to help, you might change the things for them. Now, if they're by default designed to be negative, and some people are, no matter how you do it, no matter what you say, they're going to find every single bad scenario. You can only do so much for people, right?
I
But
agree with you.
so that, I mean, that's my stand. I mean, I try to just project as much of the positivity around. you know um to be honest with you, it helps me because I mean, from my mental state, from my physical state, the more positive I have, the least of anxiety, depression, stress, all the other negative stuff that can come up, and I can deal with things differently. Like you said, it's the river is flowing. Is it gonna meet obstacles? Of course it's gonna meet obstacles, but you got to move around them, and that's it. I always give that analogy. But I'm not going to let someone or something that will cloud my judgment, my day. I mean, it's like, think about it this way: we all experience a beautiful day, beautiful weather. We enjoy beautiful weather. When it's gloomy and it's just cloudy, it's dark, and you're moody, you feel like you want to sleep. That's exactly what happens when someone is positive and negative. Positive is like that beautiful day where you want to run, as you said, you want to do things, you want to go out, you want to hang out, you want to do things. I mean, look at the summer days, right? Now is daylight savings. I mean, it's dark nights. I mean, really, the days are ending at 4:30. It's already pitch dark. I mean, it's like you feel like you want to sleep at 4 o'clock. But in the summer, I mean, you have these longer days, and by 8 o'clock, you're still alive, you're still out there, and you enjoy yourself. I mean, that's the same. In the same thing for people. I mean, that positivity versus the negativity is a huge difference, like night and day. And so I try to be on that on the daylight side as opposed to the night side, and do as much as I can. And again, we try to do this through our shows. We try to do a lot of
Hmm.
that. But you're right, John. I mean, if someone is completely not going to be, I mean, by the way, I listen to a lot of podcasts as well, and I have a lot of podcasts on the network, and I watch a lot of motivational stuff. And one thing that's common, a lot of people will tell you this. It is not rocket science. You got to pick the people around you correctly. They have
Yep.
to have the same, I guess, aspirations, ambitions, vibe, frequency, energy level that you seek, either your level or better. Anything less than that, you can. Now, it sounds selfish, in a way it is because you're not going to care about others. But while you in, that's like your carrier. That's your pull, right? That's your pull.
Hmm.
It's attracting you. If you can pull a couple of people here and there and get them into the light, why not? I mean, we try to do that. But is it always going to work? Not always. I mean, there are people, I'll give you an example. We're on social media right now. There are people that go on a feed and they got nothing to say. They just say something that is completely off, got nothing to do with it. They just want to say something and they get out of chest and they think it's cool and they can be negative for whatever reason. Sometimes some people really take that to heart and they get very annoyed. I mean, sometimes a comment can really destroy your mood. As simple
It,
as that.
it can happen. I've had that once or twice, and I had that. So when they do that, I basically say to them, "Look, I understand that you're having some challenges here. Um, if you'd like us to talk about it and help you here, be happy to help you. But it sounds like you might have some issues you're going through,
Well,
and
that's what it is. That's the reality of things.
and then I either get, "Oh, yeah, yeah, I'm get why you're so smart," or I get people to be nasty. I say, "Okay, no problem. If you don't want to resolve it, that's perfectly fine." Um,
Exactly.
but in the same token, I think you have to realize that you don't have a right to rain on someone else's parade. I always say that no one has the right to make you feel inferior about yourself except you. So if
Well,
somebody's
not even
making
you. I would go, not even you.
Well, you're the
I don't
only, you
run myself.
shouldn't, but you have the right yourself. You shouldn't,
Well, yeah.
but you do have the ability, right? So no one else should do that. And I think a lot of people, they're in the narcissist world, and they're always looking for things that are wrong. They're going out and say, "Oh my gosh, like something else is going to happen to me." Okay, well, of course something's going to happen to you because you're looking for something to happen to you. Like you're
Manifestation is real.
yes,
Things manifest. You think about it, it would happen. You almost make it happen. I mean, literally.
not by. So if I think about it once, it's not going to happen tomorrow.
Well,
Like
yeah,
I
yeah.
use the example of the lion.
Mhm.
And it's a good thing manifestation is not seconds. Well, I see a lion in my living room. Oh, I didn't want you there. Like it doesn't happen that quick.
Mhm, mhm.
But it's the pattern, and that pattern gets us to take action and to reformulate different types of activities in our life. Regardless of whatever it is, when you focus on something good, other people are like, oh, gee, I want to be a part of that. I was saying something in my show today that, if you ask somebody, and I've said this before, um, if you ask somebody for help, they're going to oftentimes say no, right?
Mhm.
They're going to wait till that plane's taken off. But I want to take a different light. If you don't ask somebody for help. Okay. Try this. Do what you're doing, share what you're doing, and wait for them to become curious and interested to say, oh my gosh, how do I get on board? You didn't ask them. Well, I'm doing this, we're doing this, and we're doing that. Really? Yeah, that's all. Wow. Well, how would I get started doing that? So I think when we make people curious, and it's not our agenda to get them involved, but they learn about things, they then decide themselves that they want to be a part of something, an organization. Like take myself with the Roadrunner. Nobody told me I had to run. It was by being around other runners, by being part of the experience. That's what propelled me forward to want to run. And I think that's what propels my show this week in the JCM Academy business coaching was all about, are you an entrepreneur? Are you a business owner? Or are you a serial entrepreneur? And why? It's one thing to just put a title on your name, but are you really that? If you just started a business yesterday, I'm sorry, you're a business owner. Nothing wrong with that, but you're not an entrepreneur. You're not a serial entrepreneur. You need to go through some of those growing pains. And a lot of times when we get these negatives, like, oh my gosh, this didn't work out, that didn't work out. I mean, you've probably seen this before in the past. Maybe you didn't get the loan, right? And you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I didn't get the loan. Maybe there was a good reason for that.
Well, John, so since you're referring to business, right? In
Yes.
business, if you have a negative outlook at everything, you're never going to succeed in business because business is
No.
going to have a lot of challenges. Anyone that knows business or been in business or started a business or in business currently or even entertains the idea of business, just be prepared that every day is not going to be peachy. How you go about it is that positive. If you keep a positive outlook and attitude about things,
Yes.
you'll figure out things. You have a can-do attitude versus cannot-do attitude, and things will happen. You will find a way. There's always a way out. There's always a solution out there. I actually, even in the corporate, when I was in the corporate world, and one of the things that I still have that pet beef of mine is you do not come to me with a problem. I mean, with an excuse, a reason why not, and we cannot do it. We can do it. If there's a will, there's a way. That applies. We can do it. Let's figure out a way. Now, it may not be done a certain way. We'd have to find a different version of things, whatever. But there's a way to get things done. And that's exactly where we stand in the world. Things got done, and they're still getting done, and they will always get done because someone's going to find a way. And but some people even when you do things, people say, well, oh, that's not going to work. What kind of an idea is that? I've thought about that. Well, you thought about it, but you didn't do any action about it. So what's so again, allow me to make my mistakes. Allow me to try to learn through my failures. If anything, at least I'm trying, so I have a better shot than you if you didn't do it. Now, that takes a lot of positivity to be even with this mindset. And that's the other thing that leads to the big mindset discussion that we always hear about. It's how you see things, it's how you convert things in your mind. I can see everything positive. I can see every situation there's a positivity. And even when there is something wrong, you take that wrong as a positive itself, because that's actually a learning thing. You just learn the trick, how not to do things, or maybe how to do things better, or maybe because you made that little wrong turn, you got yourself in a better place, or maybe you figure out that that's a dead end. I have to go the other way. You will get a positive response from a negative outcome. The problem is how you take it. Now, if you just see it negative and period and out, you just basically ruin the things for you. And that's really what makes a difference between success and not so much success. It's in personal, in business, in life, with people. Doesn't matter what you do. I mean, there's podcast shows, this, that, the other. There's plenty of it, right? And there's so many great things. I don't know. I have not seen a negative show to date. Personally, I have not seen a post or something. Even psychologically speaking, people do not post their bad things. They don't post, an Instagram post or story where they're having a bad time. I mean, maybe sometimes people try to vent and get some, attraction, and some get, some feedback from other people, but that's a lower, level percentage in terms of but when you look at social media now, is that the reality of things? Probably not, because people sometimes they're going to post the best of their lives, not so much the bad, but it keeps the positivity. The more you see positive, the more you stay in the positive. It's really that simple. I mean, these are things of energy, which you talked about how the animals, get that energy from humans. Well, humans do that too. Right now we're through the screen, people are watching, but imagine you're in a room. If the vibe is really high, you will feel the vibe. I mean, it's like you just get engaged quickly. If the vibe is low, guess what? You got to fall asleep. You'll be like, oh, okay. Sometimes you get in training. I'm sure you've done trainings. I've done a lot of trainings. And one thing you notice, and I've also attended some trainings, you sit there and someone's just blah, 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 blah. And you're like, it's gone. I can't even, stay awake because this conversation not getting, or you get someone like true story. I used to teach real estate, law in New York. I had a real estate school. And so one of the things that, there's different instructors and everybody's got a different style. And that's actually true for everything. But the one thing that I did different from my fellow instructors was very simple. I use the actual regulations and laws and stuff. I put them in a practical format where I give examples of how they work. I give them a simple thing. I get them engaged. I'll give scenarios, and we get them going. And so we have a discussion, as opposed to even our shows. If you think about it, our shows, I don't write questions, per se, for all the shows that I have. There's no question written, except one show that I have but because these are the questions that were actually sent to us, so I can give them to our doctor. But in essence, when I do it, it's really a discussion, and the discussion takes place. I mean, we started the show with one particular idea that we're going to talk about positivity, and that's what we did. So again, the vibe drives everything. If this was a dull show and we were just literally just sleeping on this one, and sometimes you get even the voice, the tone of your voice can make a difference. You can see someone
absolutely.
I mean, believe it or not, the fun story is that my name Hurricane H came from the same concept of being all crazy energy level, right? But that's actually where I thrive. I live in that space. I mean, listen, my life is not peachy, folks. Just so you know, everybody's got their own problems, and no one, I think, can claim that they have the best life ever. Everything is going on. You don't know what I'm going through. My finances, this, the other. When you're in business, there's so many things are going. But I don't go like, oh my God, I'm having a bad day. Oh my God, this is not working. Oh my God, this, that, the other. That's not going to do me any favors.
It's not going to help you, and it's not going to get you to look forward.
And the more I say that, the more I'm going to be like putting myself down. I'm just like getting all into a depression mode. And what's the point? I'm not going to be able to continue my journey and do what I have to do.
Absolutely.
And that's
I agree with
the
you.
problem. People fall into this trap of blame themselves and why did I make the choices? Folks, we make choices based on a set of circumstances and set of information we have at a particular time frame. Sometimes we don't have all the information. We make decisions, and you know what? Decision making is a key and is one of the hardest things that happen People are difficult, sometimes have difficulty making decisions and choices, period and out. But sometimes we have no choice. We make the decisions and the choices, and they don't pan out. It's okay. It's okay. They don't work out. We'll find something else. But here's the thing: we better off not do that than actually not making any choices and just be literally in a state, of stagnation, because that's not going to get us anywhere, right? So keep the positivity of all the outcomes. If you keep this outlook of like whatever I get thrown at me, I'm okay with it. I'll take it. Good, bad, ugly, it doesn't matter. You said it. Someone makes a bad comment. Does it faze me? No. I mean, unless someone physically grabs me and touches me, they don't faze me. Now, if they did that, that's a whole different story. Then they just enter the space of where I can do positive stuff to them, in a way, and that's again, I look at that I train myself, over the years to be able to deal with that, right? But it doesn't matter. The folks that are watching or listening right now, this is for all of us. It's a reminder that it's our attitude that makes the difference on how we deal with things and how we succeed with things in life. And then this goes for a day, for our goals, for our dreams, for our businesses, for our families. If you have kids, you're gonna have issues. If you have a relationship, you're gonna have issues. You have parents, you're gonna have issues. You go to work, you're gonna have colleagues, and the good and the bad. Some people are going to dislike you because, like as Denzel Washington said, their demons irritate yours or whatever. Something. I think that was kind of like what he stated. But it doesn't matter, folks. If you start looking at all these bad things, that's all you're going to notice. This is the same idea in hypnotherapy, as they say. When you buy a car, you start seeing that car over and over, right? On
Right. We talked about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So you start seeing it's the same thing. If you start just focusing on the bad things, everything's gonna show to you in a bad light. That's it. You're never gonna see good stuff.
Right.
So that's it. I mean, that's just my flavor. That's how.
But attitude is everything. Attitude is everything. I mean, people say that it's about the hard work, and there is some hard work, but attitude and showing up is probably the two top keys to being able to succeed, because every person you interact with, if they see you on that type of a level of being positive, they're going to want to interact with you. If they're seeing you as a negative person, so
exactly.
That's the whole thing. I mean, you ask yourself, when you go to a party, who do you hang around with? Well, you don't hang around with the people that are telling you it's a terrible party. You go hang out with the people that are having a great time.
Well, so that note, right? If someone is at a party and they think it's a terrible party, what the hell are they doing there? Just get out of there. If it's terrible, why are you there? Or if it's terrible, you can turn it into a better party. But
I asked that to one of my classes. Oh, I'm here because it's free alcohol.
Well, so he looked at the positive, or she looked at the positive. That's great. But now let's make it happen. Okay, it's dull. Listen, in my days, I'm telling you, when I go to a place and it's dull, I become the action. I mean, that's really it. I just take a lead and just make it fun.
I remember doing that at one of the weddings I went to. It wasn't a great wedding in the reception, so I just went up there and so you don't mind, do I? Went to the DJ and I just grabbed the microphone and I just started singing.
I'm singing. I can see you do that, man. I mean, you're good for that. But
I remember going to a bar for a thing. Oh, you're gonna call you enter the competition. I said, what competition? Oh, this is a competition tonight. I'm like, oh, I just did one mic. Oh, no, this was a competition, and you're in the lead now. I'm like, I'm in the lead. Yeah, you got to come back every week. I'm like, I got to come back every week.
Well, so it's funny because I'm gonna give you two things that I do as part of my strategy in life, right? I go to business. You and I would talk. I was away on business, right, on the trip. We were doing a coverage for an event, for the Glamour Channel. But anyways, in my trip, I have to extract days of fun. So if my business is 4 or 5 days, I'm gonna take 2 days plus whatever to do something in addition to enjoy that. This actually been doing all along. So I give you. There was one time I was going to 2 demos for like software platforms for our company. This was like a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
And one was in Buffalo, New York, and one was in El Paso, Texas, right?
Okay.
So guess what? We had 1 day there, 1 day there. In the days that we were there, we were sleeping over. Guess what? When we were in Buffalo, I got a whole bunch of us. We crossed to Canada. We had, a 1/2 a day, did the Maid of the Mist, did the whole Canadian side, had some fun, and came back. On the day we were in Texas, we crossed over to Mexico to Juarez, and had a great time there too. You make the best of things, situations, no matter what. That's how you do that. You just gotta like roll with it. You gotta make it work. If you don't do that, then I'll give an example. We used to do this expose, like annual expose in Albany, New York, and every time we go there, we have equipment, speakers and things, and for the event. And so at the end, we're at the hotel and there's a bar, and there's nothing going on in that bar. So we go and I go to ask the manager, hey, listen, we got equipment. Would you mind for us to throw in a party here? He looks at us like, really? Yeah. And here we go. We have the speaker, we have a DJ, and now everybody is coming down, and we just, kind of like light up the whole place, and it's fun. Now, for people who party, this is an example. But this could be applied to anything else that you do in life. You can be that person that cheers up people. You can be the person that's going to be. Now, are you going to be always 100% all the time doing that? Probably not. We all have our moments.
No.
But the idea is that you can change the vibe on any location. It's how you do it. People could be just like not having fun and pissed off about life. And you can just come in and cheer them up easily, by just having a good time. And that whole psychology of when you start laughing, everybody starts laughing. Nobody knows what you're laughing about. Try
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
right now. If we start laughing, everybody's gonna start laughing. See, I mean, we can start laughing before you know it. The whole show goes, just laughing at each other, and everybody watching right now start laughing in their homes. It's that kind of attitude. Can you do it? Yeah, we can do it. It's not hard. It's actually easier, as you said. It takes a lot less, muscles, to smile and have a good, face as opposed to frowning, right? Just do it, and it's good for you. Your endorphins, everything is kicking. Your body is alive, as opposed to like being collapsed. Now, again, folks, we get it. There's so many things between our food, our pollution, our stress, our work environment. Everything can be really depressing. I mean, if we start thinking about what we like I just posted something today about like the things you should avoid versus the things that you should, like the positive stuff that gets you vibe energy, positive versus negative. There's a list of things. I mean, literally go to my Instagram and you can see it. It's right there, and it's not my post. I just reposted it, but I loved it because it has everything bad for you and everything good for you, and it's not a difficult list to actually come up with or like apply on. It's, you look at it, these are my check marks, boom boom, green green, this is reds. I have to avoid these things. It goes for your food, it goes for your health. I mean, I love what you mentioned something earlier about you got to count those calories. People watching right now, listening, they might not know that you count everything you eat. and they don't know that in a couple of years back you were a different weight, a different
250
size.
pounds.
Exactly. And you know what, you took the steps to change things positive, and you continue the positivity. And what you found, as you get into the positivity, your energy became better and better and better, and you go
Yeah.
further. I do a lot of shows, and I cannot beat you, man. You do more shows than most of, like 5 of us would do in a day. You're like all over the map, which is great, but that shows the energy, that shows the positivity, and everything you do.
It's when I do these things, I tell people I'm passionate. Like I get people on, and if I applied all these shows, I think if I apply to X shows, I think out of like let's say 10 shows, I think I'll get one rejection. And usually it's because they don't like what I'm doing, that they feel that I'm a competition to them. They don't see that we can help each other. I get that in the tech space. Oh, I'm a tech bro. Okay, fine. So, it happens. I get, but I get a lot of people that want me to be on their show, and they want to hear what I have to talk, especially a lot of the entrepreneur stuff. That's been our big thing. I just launched a brand new thing for my guests and hosts. I call it my podcast hosts and podcasts and hosts tools, because people always say to me, John, what do you use? What do you do? I was like, well, this is my playbook. These are the things I use. These are not things I'm telling you to use because I want you to buy them. These are things that I personally use, and I'm happy with them. And I think when you're passionate about something, doesn't matter what it is, you make the steps to keep doing it. Like, I'll give you an example with the weight thing. So I started with the strength training. Every day before I take my shower, I have to do my planks. I think in a year or two, there might have been 2 days I didn't do my planks. I might have had a headache or something. That's it, out of a whole year. So that's not a big deal. So 3 minutes of planks, then I do 30 toe tap all the way up, all the way down, 30 of those, and then I do 30 heel ups. And it's like a part of my day. It's a part of my routine. Before I have my breakfast, I've got to do all those things. It doesn't take long. I start my day, HH, by people say to me, why do you do this? I start my bed by doing one important thing when I get up. I make my bed.
Yep.
I make my bed. Because I can check that off as the first positive thing I've done for today. And then I just kind of go up from there.
Well, again, you said it. I mean, what you just said right now is not a lot. It doesn't take a lot of, energy. I mean, making your bed will be like what, 1-2 minutes.
Yeah, 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah, the little, exercises you do, that's a 5 minute stop. So that's
5-10
30
minutes.
days.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a lot. And yet it starts your day, it gives you a little boost, you get energized, it keeps you healthier. It's simple things, folks. I mean, we're not asking you guys to do
You don't
more
have to go
than,
run the marathon.
yeah, it's
You know I'm
part of
doing.
if you can, good luck, man. but again, it's simple things that can make a difference in your life. So again, our purpose for this show is really just to share with you guys. I mean, we're doing a lot of things, and our mission is we're true to our mission. Whether John or I, that's exactly. I mean, educate, enlighten, inspire, motivate. Teach, educate. This is what we do, and
Yeah.
we're not experts in everything. That's where we get the experts to talk to you guys and share
No,
value
we
with
have a
you.
lot of experience in a lot of things, but we do get a lot of experts on.
Well, yeah, I mean, again, we do have our own, stuff that we're good at, but we can't be good at everything. That is
Nope.
impossible, right? And so that's why we have other. But the idea is still bringing the resource, the information to you. And sometimes we have these chats that are just, good chats. I mean, by the way, there's a lot of this. I mean, you can listen on podcasts on these. Of course, all the platforms. We are a platform. You can go to Clubhouse. I mean, there's Rumble. There's all these platforms that are available where you can get this. And sometimes you need this. You just hear one of these conversations that gets you a little like, oh, damn, my day was bad, but this cheered me up. That's all we try to do. Now, we hope that we deliver that. We hope that we get somebody that's watching and listening right now to get some action from it. And that's all there is. I mean, again, the expression, you can only take the horse to water, you can make it drink. But the same concept
Exactly.
here. We're going to do this, and we're going to continue doing this with the premise that we hope that we touch one life at a time. That's all. Now we can be touching multiples, hundreds, thousands, millions. And that's great. That's exactly what we want. But even one at a time. And if it's not today, it's tomorrow. These things are evergreen. They're in the air. Forget about it. They're on the net. That's it. They're gone. And they go, for eternity until the internet doesn't exist. So
No, it's
somebody's
keeping to exist. We keep going.
yeah,
We're
well,
going.
exactly. Something's gonna give. Someone's gonna benefit from these discussions. You might pick one. I pick. Listen, for every show I do, or I listen to, I was just driving. I was listening to one of the podcasters that are on the network, and it was great value stuff that I was listening to. I mean, it's actually our one of the latest, members to our podcast showcase. It's the B1 Change One podcast with Roscoe and Cass, and it's pretty good. You listen to it, folks. It's pretty good. And these are like Air Force, leaders that they trained. They actually did true flights and flying those fighter jets, and they do training and leadership. But the discussion was awesome, and you listen to these shows, you just learn. I mean, there's counterparts. I mean, these are like some of the ones that I have on the network. But there's so many that you can listen to and get some good stuff from. John is live, I think, every day.
Every day.
Every day on LinkedIn, on YouTube. I mean,
Yeah, and then we do the audio cast 24 hours later, and then we have the tech show on Friday nights. But I was
there
with
you
West
go.
Point actually this weekend, and it was very interesting. All the different things. I hadn't been to a football game there many years, and the amount of enthusiasm. We went there on Veterans Day, and it was probably one of the best days, other than Army Navy Day, to go there. Just the amount of enthusiasm, the amount of passion that these soldiers have, that they're football players, but they're going to be soldiers, that they have for their sport, for their thing. And they mentioned something very interesting. They had 9 Army people that actually were on the field, and they came to enlist. I'm like, why would you do that? They came to re-enlist. So their service was up. I'm like, well, why would you want to come back and give more? And they said they're doing this because they're here for us, for the American people. Why do they do that? Because they're passionate. So you got to find what you're passionate about in life. If you're passionate about walking dogs, well, then go walk dogs. If you're passionate about writing books, write books. If you're passionate about creating music, create music. Do what you are passionate for. No one can tell you what your passion is. And if they do, you're going to stop doing what you think you're passionate in. Your passion needs to come from your heart. You'll know when you're doing your life's passion because you will find so much immense joy in your life.
Well, with those words of wisdom, John, I think we've exceeded our hour for the day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, time flies when you're having fun, as they say, right? So it's all good. We enjoy these discussions, these talks, and by the way, some of these things are just reminders for all of us. It's not something that is new. You probably heard it, listened to it, watched it, in movies and documentaries, in real life with colleagues, in school, whatever it is. But sometimes it's reminders. The more you hear things, the more they become true to you, the more you apply them. And I love what you said about passion, John. It's everything. You got to have passion for what you do, and you'll find everybody has something that they love. Just make sure you know what it is and just go through it. I mean, make it happen.
The universe is going to keep repeating these lessons. So why don't you make it your business to learn? Because it's going to keep giving you these lessons until you learn them.
Well, John, you want to do the honors and close?
Yeah, so we have been with you. We're going to be back again. Looks like it'll be December. So that just you guys know, if you want to tune back in, that'll be December 11th. And we'll be talking about all kinds of great stuff. We'll be talking about some neat stuff to do with the holidays and stuff like that. So you're definitely going to want to catch that show. I'm John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. Of course, one of the podcast hosts here. Of course, your podcast coach. And I love to help people create and tell stories. And this is
Hurricane H.
And together we make 1, 2, double impact.
See, we're trying to synchronize this. So, for you guys that are new in the show, we've missed it out many times.
We're getting better.
It's like we get the cue now. So eventually we'll do without a cue. But again, like I said, John is great with holidays, loves the holidays. And I think, Thanksgiving is coming up. So for people.
Yeah. So I do want to thank all of you guys. Make sure that you spend time with your family and you really do what I tell you should do every day, which is to be grateful. So not just this Thanksgiving, be grateful for everything you have and everything that's coming to you. Be grateful every day. Don't just wait for Thanksgiving. That's just a commercial holiday. We should live Thanksgiving in our hearts every day.
That's it. I'm not saying a word.
All right. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we got to fly because we got to get ready for Thanksgiving, and we'll see you guys next month.
Bye, everyone.
Ciao, everyone.